Hi guys, welcome back. Today we are looking at our second article for the week. It's called Love at First Crunch, and it is about a man named George Crumb who invented one of our favorite snacks, chips. And remember, we are trying to synthesize, so we are taking the information that we learned in the last article about flavorous and how our foods are now being treated with chemicals called preservatives that keep our food fresh. But along with this, they can also make our foods more unhealthy. And so we are trying to combine this information with the information we will learn today in the second article. And we are talking about how and why companies make our food taste so great and the effect that that can have on us. So we are on page 13 of Storyworks today. Go ahead and find your magazine and try to follow along as I'm reading aloud. The story goes something like this. In the summer of 1853, a chef named George Crumb was cooking up French fries at a restaurant in Saratoga Springs, New York. A customer sent his fries back to the kitchen, complaining they were too thick and soggy. Crumb decided to teach this picky customer a lesson. So he sliced up potatoes as thin as he could and fried them to a hard brown crisp. He was sure they would be inedible. But something surprising happened. The customer didn't turn up his nose at these crunchy fried potatoes. In fact, he gobbled up the delicious new treat. Other diners began to ask for them too. Soon the restaurant was known for its famous Saratoga chips. History experts aren't sure whether this tale is 100% true, or even that Crumb was the first person to invent potato chips, but he definitely helped make them popular in the US. And more than 150 years later, potato chips are still one of America's favorite snacks. Crunch craving. It's not surprising that Crumb's creation became such a hit. Research shows that humans naturally crave noisy, crunchy foods. Why? Some scientists think that it's because crunchy foods tend to be fresh. Think of the satisfying snap you hear when you bite into a stalk of celery or a crisp apple. The crunchiness of fruits and vegetables helped tell our early human ancestors that these foods were fresh and healthy. And even though potato chips aren't very nutritious, they still appeal to our brain's built-in love of crunch. It's like chips are able to trick our brain because we naturally like crunchy food. So even though chips aren't healthy, they're still crunchy. Today, food companies research and experiment to create the perfect crunchiness. They've figured out exactly how much tooth pressure it should take to crush a chip. They've calculated how loud the sound is. It can reach 63 decibels, as loud as a washing machine. They've designed the bag to keep chips crispy for as long as possible. So the next time you tear into a bag of chips, you can think about the work that went into each crunch. And in between noisy mouthfuls, you can thank George Crumb.